hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Heart Center Connection, coming to you live from the Heart Center. At the Heart Center, we are a loving community where you can share your strengths and your gifts with total freedom and total authenticity. And this week, we're going to start shifting the podcast, the Heart Center Connection, towards you, the community. What I mean by that is we really emphasize and we really know that one of the special things that we have at the Heart Center is our community, is the people who make up the Heart Center. And well, all of us, in my experience, have really interesting stories and really interesting relationships with the Heart Center. And we feel that it'll help you get to know the Heart Center better by getting to know the people of the Heart Center better. So, on that note, tonight we're going to feature our very own Chloe Ann Weiser. Chloe is a graduate of California State University Northridge, and she's been quite an excellent addition to the Heart Center team. You may have seen her in a previous episode, and you may have really enjoyed some of the things that she has to say. We certainly really enjoy the things that she has to say, and we enjoy the perspective that she brings to the Heart Center. So, with that, I'd love to introduce our very own Chloe Ann Weiser. Yay! She's just putting a mic on. She doesn't have a technical assistant because, for those of you who don't know, she's usually our technical assistant behind the scenes.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be on Heart Center Connection here in front of the camera, and I'm just looking forward to sharing a piece of my heart with you all.
Wow. Yay.
So that's beautiful. Thank you for starting that way. So, Chloe, you have a really very interesting and unique story.
Indeed, I do.
And it's a very healing journey, but it was a kind of circuitous route that you took to get there. So can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to be Chloe Ann as a child and your journey getting to, well, you don't have to go all the way to the Heart Center, but
back to that point. Okay. So, I mean, I guess like my story, first of all, it just really involves my childhood. As you can tell, I'm a young individual. I'm 22 years old. So, me as born as Chloe Ann, I was like a ray of light, always smiling, always like cracking jokes. Like there would always be like some phrase that like people would reference that like would just like make them laugh. I really loved like to draw, like really creative always, and I think that I was a happy-go-lucky kind of child. And then I grew up, as most people do, and that's where I started to run into these like mountains. Absolute like mountainous terrain, like almost pretty much Mount Everest. So I'll just say plainly, I really struggled with my mental health in my teenage years. I think the main core wound was betrayal because this is a story that I hear a lot, by the way. It's like girls have this childhood best friend and it's like so close, like you're so close, and then something happens. It's like heartbreak, but with a friend, like that friend heartbreak. Sometimes like could really, really, really hurt, like as much as like a romantic relationship. But this core wound really impacted how I saw myself, my self-esteem, because I was just like kind of nervous, like awkward kind of kid. I was like still like growing into this femininity, and my friend was really like, you know, she was easing into that like nothing. It was natural for her. She was like shaving at like a young age, wearing all that perfume, you know, the kind of more provocative clothing, and I was just like me, nerd, like nerdy. And there's that disconnect there. But when she left, I started feeling this identity crisis. Like, who am I? I would like pretend to be someone from another country. I would have different names. It ended up with me questioning my gender and sexuality from a very young age. I came out as bisexual when I think I was 13 years old. I came out to my parents. I wrote a letter to them. And, it wasn't honestly shocking to them. And I will say in my story, I'm grateful that I've had so much love and support. And this is why I feel like I'm able to be here, is because of the amount of love and support. But basically, these identity problems led to me identifying as a transgender male. And I lived my teenage years as a different person, basically.
What's your name?
Percy. I chose Percy because I just thought it was like strong and cool and unique, I thought it was awesome, like an awesome name. And it's based off of Greek mythology, Perseus slays Medusa. That's another part of my story, but I don't really feel comfortable talking about too much. But honestly, it's just like this identity part is just, I feel, the main reason why I struggled so much. It's because I didn't know who I was. I was being not authentically myself. And I know for some people it's different. I honor the people have different experiences, but this is truly my experience as someone who's detransitioned. But that's a little bit about that section. But then I turned to faith, and that's what helped me become grounded and stable enough to start exploring who am I beyond like an identity I've created for myself, going back to Chloe Ann. And that's why it was so powerful for me to reclaim this name. So I literally legally changed my name to Percy. I was living as that identity, and then here I am again. Yay.
So just to give everyone context, when I met Chloe, I actually met Chloe as Percy at Cal State University, where I was her professor. But I think you were already in the middle of the process.
Yeah.
Because you were dressing more feminine. But I just, if you can take us to this moment, because a lot of us parents, we really worry about our kids, and our kids go through this moment. We don't know what to do, right? So can you bring us back to this moment where you're really unsure and you're looking for exactly who you are, and you're trying on different things. And can you bring us to the moment where you started to know that you wanted to come back to Chloe Ann and that you weren't Percy?
Well, I'll first just say that, I don't think exploring your sexuality or your gender is a bad thing. Like, I am grateful that I had the experience to try it on and then realize this is not for me. I think that's a good thing. And to have that space to be able to do that, and my parents supporting me, like my family supporting me, I'm beyond blessed and grateful that I didn't face a lot of repercussions and have to hide it. That would have been wild. But when I noticed that I didn't feel like how I was identifying was fitting me anymore was in therapy groups. I was in youth therapy groups with people who were supposed to be like me, and I totally felt like I was like, I don't agree with how they feel, and I'm like, I feel like I'm like supposed to kind of relate, but something's not clicking. And I think that was just the feeling that like because I'm transgender, I have to not like myself or like hate the body that I'm in, and like that self-hatred. I started to question that. I didn't want to not like myself because there is just this incongruence with my identity and my body. I felt like that's where my illness came from. Is just like this like internal belief that because I am transgender, I have to hate my body like that. So
what brought you out of that feeling of confusion and you know, being out of out of phase with what you thought you were experiencing?
So I would say that it was realizing where the influences started from, like where it stemmed from, because a lot of my friends at the time were also exploring their genders and sexuality. There was this outside influence, and because I was just feeling this like betrayal and loss and this identity crisis, I felt like, okay, well, maybe this is something that will help me and fix, like, you know, this void I feel inside. And realizing that, well, okay, that's not the case. That helped me release more and more of this, like, this identity that I had built over the years. It was gradual process, but like it was alienating because I spent so I mean, I would say so long, but honestly, in the span of my lifetime, it was a very short amount of time, but still, in this very instrumental part of my life, my young self as a teenager, like still figuring, I have to build that part of myself again. Like that's how it felt. But
And
that's
what
where.
did you use? What did you use to rebuild yourself? Like what were the tools? When I met you,
Mm-hmm,
so let's go to this moment, or when you graduated from school and
mm-hmm,
we talked about you working with us. We walked around that building and
mm-hmm,
had a conversation.
mm-hmm.
And you had already, to some degree, started to find your way back to yourself.
Yeah.
And it was clear to me from that conversation. So, can you tell me, or can you tell
Mm-hmm.
our viewers, you know, what was it? What was it? What, was it practices? Was it somebody in your life? Was it something that happened? What was it that brought you back to
Mm.
Chloe Ann?
I mentioned this earlier, but Faith. My full name, Chloe Ann Faith Weiser. That's my middle name is Faith, but Faith changed everything for me. Finding that faith. Um, I didn't grow up like really religious or going to church or anything like that, but when I was really struggling, I was in a residential treatment program. One of the abilities that I had to be like basically by myself, because in most settings you're with other people, like, or other girls, or like, you know, just with staff all the time. The only place that I could kind of be by myself was church. And I like when I had that realization that I could have that like breath of fresh air, like the relief that I felt, like I could have a place to cry, I could have a place to just like vent, like I had a place to shed like layers. And it felt strange because I was making my own way. It wasn't even like my own way. I was being guided, obviously. And this is what changed my life, is opening myself to the divine. Really, is just being able to realize like I I have been guided all this way, and like I and the realization that like there's power in what I've been through. Like what I went through wasn't for nothing. I didn't waste time. And I know that it's a controversial topic, the topic of detransitioning, because there's a lot of discourse about it. But just realizing that I didn't have to pretend, or I didn't have to conform to like what like is being said, like a lot of like teenagers are doing, like, you know, like it's just teenagers do do these things that are kind of rebellious, and that in itself is like completely shifting your gender expression. Like, I'm not a girl anymore, I'm a guy. Like that is that I feel like that rebellion, I was able to drop the rebellion in that sense.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So there you were. You're just starting at the Heart Center. I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, what surprised you the most,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, what you enjoy about the Heart Center and what you find challenging.
Sure.
So what is your experience?
Okay. Well, wow, this is an interesting question. So initially, I came in with just like, you know, no expectations, because I'm like, okay, my professor has explicitly asked me to help him out with stuff. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we're getting into here, what I'm getting into. But it just like I really have to have no expectations, because things are so dynamic. Things change. It's like literally this me being here is a change, because I recognize that everyone has wisdom to share. Everyone has a story. Everyone has something to offer. And I think the Heart Center really helps solidify my belief in like things just happen for a reason. You meet people for a reason, whether it's like for good purposes and not so good purposes, you know, like lessons that you begin to learn, have to relearn, that kind of stuff. But the Heart Center really allowed me to explore practice, like breathing practice and movement practice. Like I always learned about skills in therapy, but this like was literally using the same kind of skills, just in a more powerfully charged way. And I was like, this is so awesome, because how I experienced the Tao calligraphy is what I started to work with Jay and Winnie. It really showed me in my experience how I felt in my body, and the changes that I had in my relationships. It totally transformed the relationship that I had with my dad. I feel like when I started with the Heart Center, I was still like really angsty and mad at my dad. For context, is my parents had a divorce when I was 18, and that just was nuts, and you know, fragmented my relationship with my dad. But in a short span, I'm like hanging out with my dad like he's my buddy, and like I go over to his house and play with his cats, and it's just like I've been able to forgive him and genuinely forgive him. Like not like I forgive you, Band-Aid. Like no, like I've really forgiven him. And this goes for other people in my life, not like my dad, like people in the past, like being able to shed like things that I carried, like old baggage. I feel like the Heart Center gave me a space to drop weights, to drop heaviness, to feel lighter in my energy, and just give so many practical tips. Like it's kind of funny because like people think like healing is really like hard, like it's like this sucks, like you know, like it hurts, like the shadow work. People always say shadow work is like really painful, but it's like it's made it funny. It's made me more curious. It's made me more like just like wanting to engage in practices faster so I can transform my mood and I don't have to wallow in feeling like miserable. You know, like I don't have to feel miserable. Like can totally 180, and it doesn't, it can be like that. Like the thought shifting. That I think that's so powerful. And it's not just thoughts, but like how your body is reacting. So that's that's what I think is so powerful. But I did mention the challenges. I think there's also part of the challenge is like, you know, the dynamic nature, because like, you know, you just have to really like let go. You have to like not be stubborn. Like I'm attached to this idea. I think this is so awesome. You just like let go. You cannot hold on. It's like remove the attachments to what you feel is right, and just be open to new suggestions. Like I'll just say this like in a personal example. When I was coming here, I was wearing a different skirt, and when I got in the car, it totally ripped. And I was like, well, the universe told me don't wear the skirt. So I was like, okay. Just like a very practical example. Like I could have been like so upset, like, wow, my skirt ripped. It's ruined. Like I was like, okay, well, I have to go back inside and change. Like, and I got in my car and left, and it was fine. I feel like if me before Heart Center, I would have been totally freaking out about it. Another thing, there's a stain on this shirt. When I first found out, I was like so wrecked over it. I was really angry because I hadn't worn it, I was like, there's already a stain on it. What? But now I've let that go, and I'm wearing it on something that's recorded. Like, what? So it's just like silly examples, but seriously, it's just like lessening the care as like in a good way though, in a good way. So it's, I don't know, inviting whimsy and joy and ease. That's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so powerful to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. Winnie, I wonder if you have anything you want to share to add to this, because I see a lot of um, I see a lot of what amazes me about your story and what you said about the Heart Center is how quickly you picked it up.
Oh yeah.
I've been at it for much longer than you, and let's just say Winnie can corroborate that I did not pick it up quite as quickly as you. So I think it's amazing. And so here's Winnie to talk about it.
You know, everyone give it up. Put your hands together for Chloe.
Yay.
So one of the fundamental principles on which Heart Center was founded is indeed that everyone carries profound wisdom. And here I am listening to a 22-year-old, and I took 10 bullet points. And this is how much I enjoy learning from her. And, you know, I really want to take a moment to tell you how Heart Center is so special to my heart before I talk about the points, because this is how we learn. We play ping pong. Like I play ping pong to you, you ping pong back to me, and that's how we deepen the wisdom. So here at the Heart Center, we follow the teachings of Dr. and Master Jigang Sha. He is trained in Western medicine, Chinese medicine, and he's a world-renowned healer. And I know maybe you believe in God, maybe you don't believe in God, maybe you love the Bible, maybe you love the Heart Sutra. But what I love the most about Master Sha is he doesn't need you to believe in Jesus or know Jesus. He teaches you just 10 greatest attributes. And these 10 greatest attributes is the greatest love, melts all blockages. Greatest forgiveness brings inner joy and inner peace. Greatest compassion boosts energy, stamina, vitality, and immunity. Greatest light transforms all life. Greatest humility heals and prevents the ego. Greatest harmony, key for success. Greatest flourishing, more resources to serve. Greatest gratitude, the key for progress. The greatest service is the purpose of life. And the greatest enlightenment is the ultimate achievement of life. Now, enlightenment is not a Buddhist teaching. Enlightenment basically means that we let go of the heaviness, let go of what Chloe calls all these things that would upset her and make her go, ah!
Yeah.
So that we return to who we truly are, which is light, right? So it doesn't matter you call this Buddha's light, you call this, you know, the yogic light, the Christ consciousness, is that actually we are just light. And, you know, Rulin Shou, quantum physics PhD, in the book Tao Science, right? She talks about particles and waves. And Albert Einstein says that we are just frequencies of light. So really what we do here at Heart Center, we don't argue about, is my religion better than your religion? No, actually Tao is not a religion. Tao is the way of all life. And how can anyone tell me they don't want more love, more forgiveness, more compassion, more light, more humility? In particular, in the 3 years that I've done Heart Center, I feel I've become more and more humble. I've become softer and softer. As you can see, exactly.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So that brings me to the wonderful points. And okay, if we can have law of Shen Qi Jing for a moment.
Of course.
And I'm going to relate this to our beloved Chloe Ann. So, no, stay here, please.
Okay.
Oh,
I want them to
it's
be able to
okay.
see it.
Oh, okay. We'll all let people see. Okay. Yes. So maybe you can point to it. Okay.
Okay.
So in the law of Shen Qi Jing, it says that everyone and everything is made of Shen Qi Jing. Oh, they want me back here. Okay, here, how's this? Where Shen is made up of soul, heart, mind. Qi is energy and Jing is matter. Now, why is this important? Is because Chloe says, I went through an identity crisis where I literally don't know which country I'm from and pretended to be from other countries, where she tried on different gender and maybe different color nails, different outfits. Why? Because who she truly is Tao, is soul. Who she is made in the perfect image of God, right? So actually, in this lifetime, she's Chloe Ann, but another lifetime, she could be something else. But what is true from one lifetime to another is her original soul, right? And so here, when she's telling us something, and I'm going, yay! I'm vibrating. My heart is receiving her heart. My heart is resonating. So that brings us to the second point, which is the heart is the receiver, right? So that's what we do here at Heart Center. We receive each other. We allow the space where you can share your challenges and your gifts with total freedom and total authenticity. See? Woo! Okay.
I love it.
Exactly. And then there's the mind. And when I listened to her, one of the bullet points I made was she said that she went through this rebellious teenage time when she suddenly decided, she wants to try being Percy and being a boy. And then she decided, okay, just kidding, I'm done. And I was going deep into myself. I said, what is it that I decide to try on? And what is it that I want to come out of? And drum roll, please. Did you know that I was not a nerd until I was 11th grade? Yeah, exactly. Drum roll. When I was born a child, I was just a happy singing child. My dream was to stand on stage, sing some songs, tell you jokes so that you would laugh and we will all have a good time. In fact, it was not until I migrated to the United States, it was not until a painful breakup. Oh, drum roll, please. Because I didn't want to feel sad from this unreasonably painful breakup at the end of my 10th grade, I turned into a workaholic. So I put my nose into books for the first time in my life. Even when I was in 9th grade, I was just copying problem sets. Okay, so 11th grade was the first time I took on the identity of nerd, and 4 science degrees later, and now I'm on my 5th doctoral degree. I am very close to the finish line. after this degree is done, you know what I'm gonna do?
Mm.
I'm gonna take the nerd back.
Wow. That's so powerful.
See, Chloe's
Wow.
my therapy. You guys never know. Heart Center bring you unexpected things. Another bullet. She says that when she got into the car, her skirt ripped, and then she was just like, okay, and she put on another skirt. Today, there was a story. So when I put on this necklace, there were these matching earrings that I bought at the same year that I bought, and I was like, oh, if I wore those earrings that I bought to go with this necklace, I would just look dashing. So of course I go look for the earrings, and I did not find those earrings. And instead I found these. Now these are a gift from my parents. So what I have come to develop is I didn't spend 1 second being upset. Oh, where did I misplace my earrings? They were really special gift. But I went into, wow, I'm so grateful I had parents that gifted me earrings. And then another example is I used to want to defend and justify when someone is upset with me. And no, now I don't do that anymore. I'm not wasting my time explaining myself. So I am very grateful to AI, because whenever I run into a human conflict, I just type the human conflict story into AI and said, what do I do? And then AI will tell me exactly what to text back to that person. And that's exactly what I do. I copy and paste the AI response, which has no trigger, very, very peaceful and resolution driven. Yeah, so I'm extremely grateful to AI. Like she said, now I don't really have attachments, just like wind blow, right? Yeah, and I actually used my Tao pendulum and said, okay, dear my intuition, can you tell me how long does Winnie take to transform the soul, heart, mind, energy, body when something unexpected, a curveball comes, and how long does it take? Okay, everybody, let's do that. I want everybody to find out on the report card. So everyone put one hand on the heart, one hand on the lower abdomen. If you have your Tao pendulum, then turn it on. Otherwise, just connect to your intuition. How long does it take for me to transform the soul, heart, mind, energy, body when a single negative thought, a single negative feeling comes? Okay, hopefully everybody has the answer. So my answer was under 2 minutes. And now I would like to offer a song blessing to help you. I call this the protection mechanism. One of the famous lines Winnie is famous for saying is the most important boundary is the boundary with yourself. I say it again. The most important boundary is the boundary with yourself. Because why? Your ego is the creator of suffering, right? So if you are suffering, you got to catch that thief in your body. As a doctor, I always tell people, if you got COVID, if you catch it within the first 4 or 5 hours, it could be just gone like that. And just because I am a doctor, so as soon as I watch myself, a single negative thought, a single negative feeling happens, I catch it And in under 2 minutes, it's gone. Okay. So Tao song blessing as appropriate. For everyone to fortify their defense mechanism, not to get defensive, but to increase their awareness. Aha. So increase their awareness to know when they're no longer 100% aligned with the tenda, the love. Blessing as appropriate. Hula kea shokananashi. Alahia kune yakahe. Kusahia haruda shakamahe. Hola heya hani kamanahe. Kusahala hadiyakanahe. Remembering all the light and all the darkness is within you, and you can bring them all into your Mother Earth temple. What is the secret? Everyone carries the Mother Earth sacred temple inside their body. So I want you to imagine it's like hot pot, okay? You put the light into the hot pot and you put the pain into the hot pot and you just let the light and the dark harmonize, okay? Kia Shia Hari Shamanake Kula Heya Roki Yakashi Kula Heya Kanala Heya Shi Ula Heya Nakadarashi Hona heya haladarare. Bring love, peace, and harmony back to yourself. And a moment of silence. How. Thank you. Love you. Gong song. Okay, before we bring Chloe Ann back on, I would love to hear from you guys. So, how long did it take you to go from feeling bad to feeling good? And after the blessing, okay, let's check the pendulum again. Dear my pendulum or my inner intuition, after the blessing, how long does it take for me to be aware, to engage in the Tao hands, Tao song blessing, to come back to myself? How you can open your eyes. So for me, my score was that now I am 30% even faster. So yes, even faster to go from aware I'm feeling bad and then give myself a blessing, Tao language, and then transform. Okay, anybody wants to share?
Helen, would you like to share? Sure. Okay. Helen's going to share. Oh.
Kind of feel this vibe that's going on right now, and I don't know, the message I got was 50%. So I had just come from being with Dr. Rulin, so that's probably why I feel more love and light. But thank you so much.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Anyone else wants to share?
Hi.
Yes. How did you
Yes.
do?
So yeah, good. So with me, I checked. It says 60%.
Oh, great! Congratulations. Great.
I did mine in minutes. Before it was 20. To be completely real, it was 20, and then it was 3.
Oh,
So I was just like, wow. I was like, oh, that's
okay.
awesome. Okay, thank you. Whew.
Okay, that's really great.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Yeah, I save a lot from the wallowing. Wow, thank you. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, so really grateful. And back to the greatest humility. Okay, so I really resonated with what Chloe said, that a lot of people, they think that healing is hard, but actually healing is fun. Look what we just did. Okay, we went from wallowing in our sadness or anger for 20 minutes to wallowing for only 3 minutes. And what did it take? Just be in Winnie's presence and receive a blessing.
I have something, because like it's the important thing is to feel your feelings. Like we're not like shoving them like go away. Like no, it's like okay, acknowledging like the reality and the truth of the situation. Like okay, we can acknowledge that, but then just realize like, do I really have to like genuinely like be like hold on to the anger and the sadness? Like go away. It's okay. Get tuned back into like the wow, I have a physical body and the grounding, the like the rocking yourself like a baby. It's just the self-soothing that you need and to help you really get through that rough patch. Like you can really quicken that. So I'm like really grateful because when I was really struggling, it would take a long time to get over. So I'm just grateful to the Heart Center to know that I don't have to suffer like as much with the emotions that I experience. And that goes for everyone really. So grateful. So grateful.
Perfect. And now I bring Jay back on for leading Shichi Mujo.
So you earlier said, Chloe, that one of your favorite things about this Heart Center is about thinking about things as practices.
Yes.
So I just want to come back to this for a moment because this is a really important framing that you helped me really solidify, which is we're not perfecting anything. We're not doing anything perfectly. We're not performing anything, right? We're practicing. And another thing that you noticed is that over the time that you've been here and practicing, your self-awareness has gotten better and your ability to, I don't want to say get over, but process your emotions in real time has improved. And, here it's improved dramatically just with one blessing. So I want, first of all, what is your favorite practice that you do at the Heart Center?
The movement practice. It just feels good.
Uh-huh.
Like, most of the time, people just understand that we stay stationary. We like restrain. We have to like really hold it together all the time. But this practice of shaking the movement, woo, letting loose, oh my goodness, the relief that I feel is instant. It's so awesome. Having a place to just wiggle and shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Like having that as a practice, I was like, what? Because like I have to remind myself to move my body, and just like this helps so much because it's just like you feel stuck. You feel like really physically stuck, like in a freeze state. Just like getting a little movement, like the rocking back and forth, or like the like the making noise too. That's good too. Just it's like the energy released from your body. That this is my favorite practice. The shaking, the moving, the swaying, the jumping, the laughing too.
The laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the greatest thing too, because you can do this intuitively.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
we've already started to just do it of our own accord. We're wiggling, right? So first of all, this activates your nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
starts to settle it, makes you feel like you can come to peace more easily. But then maybe there's a spot that's really stuck for you, and you need to move that spot. You need to open that spot. So you just follow, you listen to yourself. So what I want to point out about this, not to get too nerdy about it, is that this is teaching you to listen to you. So that's one of the greatest gifts that the Heart Center has given me. When I came to the Heart Center, I was really good at ignoring myself, ignoring my signals, ignoring my wants, my needs, my desires in favor of what I thought was the right thing to do. Which is, which isn't good for me. Wasn't good for me. Anyway, so now we're wiggling.
Shake it off, shake it off.
There you go.
Shake it off, shake it off.
And if you've got a little in the middle that needs to get worked out, then shake your booty too. Shake what your mama gave you. Shake it. Shake your legs. Yes. Oh, I have my left leg really loves the attention. Just getting it in there.
Another thing is, it doesn't have to be fast. It can be slow if you
It's
want
true.
it to be.
It's true.
You know?
And
I guess we're just really burning up and excited.
yeah, well, we have a lot of energy,
Mhm.
but it's a good point. Sometimes what your body needs is to just be held and noticed. Yeah, maybe you just put your hand somewhere
Oh, yeah, like this.
and you just sway. And you feel held and seen, listened to.
Oh, yeah.
And the greatest thing is, it didn't cost you a cent.
Mm-mm.
And you don't need anyone else to do it.
Mm-mm.
And you don't need anyone else's approval about how you do it.
Nope.
So, allowing our bodies to settle, we'll now practice our breathing practice, our sacred breathing practice. Call it Shi Qing Hu Zhuo, which is Mandarin Chinese. Shi Qing means to breathe in the pure oxygen. Breathe in the pure, breathe in the high vibration energy, in this case, of the 10 Da wall. And Hu Zhuo means to release, to exhale the turbid, the disturbed energy. So when we breathe in the high vibration energy of the 10 Da wall. And you can visualize the light going into your body, into your field, into the places that you need it most. And in this case, I'll direct you when it's happening, if I sense that it needs to be in one particular place. But if you feel any pain anywhere, discomfort, then please send the light there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Winnie.
Have we officially picked a demo? I wonder if we can do it for Veronica's son.
Sure.
Is that okay?
It's fine with me.
Do you want to ask her?
So, Heaven has picked Veronica's son. Veronica, is he available for a blessing?
Yes, but he doesn't say
Okay.
is that okay?
It's fine if he's not on camera for the blessing. Just bring him.
Just to have her describe what is her son condition.
Yeah, so if you could just briefly describe to us what condition your son has. What
So last week we officially went to child development and he is diagnosed with autism spectrum.
Okay, ASD,
Yeah,
autism spectrum. Okay.
I can show him a little.
Okay.
This is my son. Say hi, baby.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
Great to meet you. Hello. Just putting our hands, you can put your hand over your heart, Veronica, and send the energy towards him. We will also focus on him sending the energy. Tell us your son's name.
David.
Stephen.
David.
Okay.
David.
Oh, sorry, David. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Can you say the last name?
Medez is the last name. Medez. So okay, so now what we're gonna do here, and for those of you who've not practiced this before, we're gonna breathe in, visualizing the light coming in. We're gonna count to 5 as we're breathing in, sending the light wherever it's needed, and then as we exhale, we will chant greatest light. Yes, Winnie.
Can we ask what are the symptoms the son is showing so we have an objective measurement of improvement?
So Winnie would like to know what the symptoms are so that we can have a measure.
So he doesn't look people in the eyes. He's also nonverbal. He is really hyper. He doesn't sit in one place. He can sit like maximum 30 minutes and then he'll go around. And
Come in,
then
Winnie.
according to the doctor, he has a problem with the senses. So for example, if he sees something for the first time, he touches it, he smells it, and then tastes it.
So can you elaborate on the nonverbal? What does that mean?
He doesn't speak a word. If he speaks, he just mimics whatever we tell him or whatever we try to make him say. Um, he can he cannot express himself.
Okay. So the Tenda wall is now open. The Tao is the ultimate source and creator. With Tao, everything is possible. So just feel into that everything is possible. And let's all open our hearts for dear David Medez. Let's all do this practice and direct it towards him. And we humbly ask for his ability to express himself from nonverbal to speaking. So we're going to start with the first calligraphy. It is the greatest love that melts all blockages. So we're going to do inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to visualize golden light entering David's throat. tongue and mouth and heart. And exhale, we're going to visualize dark gray smoke coming out of the heart. So in Chinese medicine, there's this wisdom, which is the heart opens in the tongue. So when we clear the darkness in the heart, then the tongue can flow. Inhale, visualize golden light of the greatest love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant greatest love. Greatest love. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest love. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest love. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest love. One more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest love. The moment of integration. The next one is the greatest forgiveness. So the greatest forgiveness, visualize golden light going into the brain. The brain translates what he wants to express. So when we exhale, we're going to visualize dark gray smoke leaving beloved David's brain. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant greatest forgiveness. Greatest forgiveness. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest forgiveness. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest forgiveness. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest forgiveness. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Greatest forgiveness. The moment of integration. Okay, so now we're gonna do some movement. We're gonna do counterclockwise circle. And we're gonna imagine that we're doing unwinding whatever unspeakable things that are stored in his brain that is blocking him and express. So everybody, especially people who really, really love movement, go really, really fast. Yeah. Everybody make circle. Great as forgiveness. Great as forgiveness. Great as forgiveness. Okay, now we're gonna do the reverse, the clockwise motion. So imagine neurodivergent brain. Actually, brains are neuroplastic even at beyond 25. So I fully believe it is possible to unwind any connection that should not be there and build new as a connection that can be there. I've seen people see again, walk again, talk again, and let's do it. Okay, clockwise motion. Okay, build all the connection, brain and heart. Let's go. Just visualize all the golden light healing and tender wall. Really going into beloved David, Nefez, David, Nefez. Heal one, heal all. So guess what? Anyone tuning in who has some flavor of OCD, PTSD, autism, ADHD, heal one, heal all. All of us are getting healed. Awesome. Okay. And now we're going to inhale the 10-dot light, bring the arms up, and all the 5 fingers touch. You're going to bring it down in front of the belly button area. Again, inhale, breathing in the 10-dot light. And then bring it in. Again, inhale. Bring in. Just pause here for a moment. Visualizing his entire body is light. Tenda. Okay, so we're going to chant out loud. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant Tenda. Tenda. Exhale, chant. Tanda. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Tanda. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Tanda. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Tanda. How. Thank you. Love you. Gongsun. Okay. You want to bring your son back?
Here, say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Say hi.
What kind of question do you usually ask him?
Like, where's your eyes? Like, where's your eyes? No, that's not your eyes. Where's your eyes? No, he's pointing at your eyes.
Oh, that is funny. Can
Oh,
he
he
can
doesn't
he
want to
express
stay.
if he's hungry or full?
Yeah, he points at his mouth.
Okay, great.
Say
Oh,
ah.
so can he respond like, did you eat breakfast already? Can he say that?
No.
No. Okay. All right. We'll continue to work on that, and let's hope that it will just keep remembering that the brain is very neuroplastic at this age, so there's great hope.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thanks,
perfect.
Winnie.
Okay, great. So I'll turn it back to you, Jay. You have a closing announcement.
Thank you so much, Winnie.
Okay, so let me just close. Thank you, Master Sha. Thank you, the 10 Da Wall, and thank you for all that participated in this Heal One, Heal All.
Thank you so much, Winnie, for your great, fun practice. That's the other thing about that Chloe pointed out about our practices is we make them fun. And so if you want to join us for our fun practices. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, we have that breathing practice that you experienced here every weekday. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m., Tuesday, Thursday at 6 p.m., where we have a nice lie down yin session to end the day with the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall. Of course, every Wednesday we meet here at the same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, to celebrate our community together here at Heart Center Connection. And you can also find us at heartcenter.la. You can find our breathing practice at breathing.heartcenter.la. If you have a man in your life who can use a nervous system reset, then send him to jduboisphd.com and he can connect with a 7-day program with yours truly. And as always, we love to hear from you. And we're shifting the podcast so that it features you more. So if you have a story that you want to tell, or if you have a loved one that you really think should be celebrated as part of the Heart Center community, then please let us know. You can reach us at our email address at heartcenterla1@gmail.com. Is there any other announcements that anyone would like to make before we close? Chloe?
Tune in for next month. We have some May events coming up.
Yes, we have events coming up in May. We have on May 16th is the men's walk. So we have a monthly men's walk on the third Saturday of the month. That will be May 16th next month. And then on the following day, I believe, on May 17th, we have our healing clinic. Compassionate Transformation Community also offers a monthly healing clinic featuring the amazing Winnie Chan Wang playing the needles and being the doctor, of course. And she does an amazing job. I've seen her shift from one, physical ailment patient with back pain to the next person who needs, self inner work. And Winnie's right there from person to person delivering what each person needs. And we offer this to the community as a reduced price so that everyone can access healing. So you can find out more about CTC and the clinic and the men's walk at lovect.net. That's www.lovect.net. We really love this weekly gathering, and we really enjoy. It's really great to see you today, Helen. It's always great to see members of the Heart Center community. And again, we're featuring you more as the guest and celebrating us as a community at the Heart Center. Really look forward to joining you next week at the same time, 7 p.m. for Heart Center Connection. Love you all. Thank you all. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.